I'm the Alchemist Astrologer, and this is your June forecast for Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Rising, and Capricorn Moon. So this month I'll be looking at your major love lesson and 3 of the most significant dates that connect to that lesson. Now for some of you this could be a romantic relationship, but for others of you this is just a significant connection that has an important influence over your life. So your major love lesson centers around the Chariot card. So for some of you, there's a strong tie to a Cancer person. But for others of you, there are issues surrounding travel, maybe an actual vehicle or just some forward movement toward a goal or an objective where you're very focused on hitting that target. And this can be a very emotional month for you, where your moods are going to have a very strong effect on other people, and you may find that behavior is reflected back to you. For some of you, this is going to mean stirring up some anger, something coming to the surface that you're going to have to deal with. But the Chariot lesson is all about self-mastery and self-discipline. And it's learning to meet your goals, but not at the expense of running over other people to do it. So you may be looking at some issues where perhaps there's been some insensitivity. Now, for some of you, this directly centers with your partnerships. You know, how you allow yourself to be treated, how you're treating other people. Travel is a strong focus, and you may find that any issues connected to travel end up being more costly, more expensive, or you have to take some kind of circuitous route that you didn't plan on. Something may not go as expected, where you have to change your schedule, your finances are affected, the strategy, and of course that's going to make you angry. Now maybe this ties to seeking adventure of some sort, or perhaps something romantic in nature. There's something going on that's unusual for your normal routine. This is a month to be very careful about driving in particular. Don't be reckless, because you may be prone to speeding or accidents or something that involves you with law enforcement due to the way that you're driving or because of your vehicle. But again, this is about reconciling differences in many ways, whether that is working in tandem with someone or perhaps reconciling differences in yourself. You may be at odds in some kind of conflict where you're trying to overcome a challenge. You may be grappling with the light and shadow parts of yourself or dealing with that in others. But the name of the game is synergy. Not becoming apathetic, knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, and pairing up with people who complement you in order to meet a common goal. So this is about barreling down towards some kind of objective or target with laser-like focus. And again, that self-mastery, self-discipline in order to meet goal. Now your affirmation is, I have come full circle to realize that I complete me. So perhaps, you know, the idea of working with others or concentrating with a single-minded purpose means that when you feel comfortable with yourself, you don't necessarily have to run over other people, or you don't have to allow them to trigger certain emotions within you because you've mastered those. Now, the most significant dates in June will be the 21st, the 25th, and the 23rd. So this is almost in a row. So let's start in numerical order. On the 21st, you will be dealing with the Page of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. So you are trying to gain some type of advantage. You're making some plans. Perhaps you're even studying something. There could be something educational. It looks like in this card, somebody's looking at instructions. Or you may be trying to figure something out, how to create an opportunity or how to make some kind of gain or make some money. And there is a small opportunity for gain. You're planting the seeds of something that maybe this is the start of some project that's going to bring some type of financial or emotional reward to you. You are definitely reflecting upon something. So there may be ties to paperwork that connects to money, maybe checks or forms or documents, licenses, fees, whatever is necessary to, further a cause or an opportunity. You're trying to gain an advantage and something that connects to your destiny. So for some of you, there's the issue of influence, rallying others to your cause, trying to be heard above the rest, perhaps. But if you find that your stance is stuck, like you're acting in such strong conviction that you're not open to other possibilities, you have to be cautious of that, because being unyielding or refusing to open to different perspectives may be costing you in some way, when perhaps being more flexible, more adaptable, or accommodating will get you further. This is about, honey attracts more than vinegar. So how you present or say something has a direct bearing on the ability to persuade or influence an outcome. And again, you have a very specific target. So you may be trying to gain an advantage with your plans, trying to figure out something, trying to figure out exactly how to make it happen. You are reflecting. This may tie to an earth sign person, which you are. It could be your own sign or another, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or just the traits of the page will be important. So for some of you, this is going to tie to youth, a younger person, or education. Maybe you're trying to gain an advantage in education or a debt of some sort. For others of you, this is about looking for greener pastures, whatever that means to you, thinking that it's better over there than it is over here, whether that's a relationship or a circumstance. So you have to determine whether what you're looking for out there is actually going to deliver the results that you want. This is about equality, something being fair, trying to gain an advantage where perhaps the scales have not been just right or fair. You may be trying to create harmony within a situation. You may be redressing an imbalance, whether that's in your health or relationship or circumstance. For example, you may be weighing your options, making some important decisions, or connecting with decision makers. For some, this could be tied to legal situations, legal cases or interactions or consultations with legal administrators of some sort, people who make decisions. For others of you, perhaps you're doing something, with your hands, something that ties to beauty. Maybe you're a craftsperson. You're trying to make gains in selling something or something you've created, or learning some kind of skill, vocation, or craft, getting a license for something that you're doing, some kind of permit. This may tie to harmony, beauty, line, form. For others of you, you may be trying to choose between two partners. You're looking over there and thinking, that looks good to me. Maybe I should, explore my options. For others of you, you're trying to balance your work life versus your personal life and create harmony between those obligations. And for some of you, you're redistributing the assets or the wealth, or you're working out issues or terms in relationships, or you're trying to decide who's going to parent on this day and who's going to do this chore and who's responsible for this debt, and so on and so forth. So restoring the order, and it's a strong focus, of course, on what is fair, what is right, what is just, who should be doing and giving what. This also ties to trying to manifest something. Again, more focus on options and having to decide where something is safe versus a risk factor, what is familiar versus what is making me feel alive and passionate. So you're trying to manifest a situation. And the advice is, don't sell out. Maybe that means don't sell yourself short. Don't compromise your integrity. Don't sell something until you've gotten it exactly the way that you want. It could mean, again, issues of integrity and balance. Don't sell those out at cost. Don't give over just for a buck. Now on the 23rd, you have the Knight of Swords and the Ten of Wands. And so there could be issues surrounding communication, travel. So this could be more paperwork, more decisions, something going on. And you have the Ten of Wands. Now, in this deck, the Knight of Swords is boldness, the boldness to move forth. All knights are on a quest. And with this knight, he's very impetuous and he wants to rush and do something. Now, that can work for him or against him. Maybe you come up with some quick solutions, some brilliant ideas. Maybe you have quick responses. Could be that there's some sarcasm, some arrogance, some rudeness, some confrontation, being argumentative, because the Knight of Swords can pull you into a conflict. But for others of you, because there's this Chariot card, maybe this is about travel. Maybe you have a work obligation, or there's a decision where, you feel burdened. There's a heavy load. Maybe there's communication about moving something, physically relocating or doing something laborious. Maybe this is taking on unreasonable obligations. For some of you, this could, again, be legal in nature. There could be paperwork, documents to deal with. You may be dealing with some kind of agency. It could be something investigative, law enforcement. There's some kind of responsibility here. And you may be taking that on willingly, or perhaps something is blown out of proportion. Now, this could be a physical matter. Maybe it's your actual body weight. You want to make some decisions, cut that, dealing with some health issues. For others of you, you're having to look at your emotions. When you get angry, what kind of importance and intensity are you attaching to matters? Is it realistic? Is it in proportion? So there is a decision about work, obligation, responsibility, somebody carrying the load. And perhaps this ties to your spiritual beliefs. Now, you could believe something and blow that out of proportion. Maybe you're zealous in your beliefs. You're getting carried away with something. Or you are standing up for yourself and acting in your conviction. You feel a responsibility based on your spirituality or your beliefs. Now, this is perhaps your beliefs, your faith, whether that's religious or just your belief in something, is going to be important. You may be connecting to spiritual people, or you may be aligning with somebody who shares your core values or seeking to. For others of you, this is your prayers being answered. And where you feel freedom, maybe it's spiritual freedom, religious freedom, the freedom to believe what you want, the belief in your own personal freedom. Maybe, again, this is about travel. So you may be trying to unburden yourself or break free from some kind of obligation. And the advice card is humor helps. So whatever this is, maybe it feels like a heavy load, something's being blown out of proportion. If you can maintain perspective and see, the funny side of a situation, or perhaps even break the ice with your humor, that's going to be very helpful for you. On the 25th, you have the Hermit and Four of Cups. So you may be dissatisfied with something that you're researching, something you're producing. Could be a book, could be some information you're coming across. Maybe you're dissatisfied with your education level, a teacher, advice. your faith. Maybe you're dissatisfied with your health, your age, your experience, the idea that you're going to be isolated or alone. For some of you, this may tie to a Virgo person. Perhaps this person is dissatisfied. Now, the Hermit card says that you are definitely in reflection mode. Maybe you're spending more time alone. Maybe you're keeping others at arm's length. Maybe there's dissatisfaction because all of the information isn't forthcoming, or you are taking information in order to make some decisions. Now, there are issues possibly of loneliness, isolation. This may be self-imposed isolation in order to do some inner reflection, to get in touch spiritually. Maybe you're working on your education, a research project, or something that you have to focus on where you need time alone. In other cases, maybe you're dealing with some health challenges. They may be age-related, or perhaps you're lonely. For some of you, this is about connecting to a spiritual advisor, getting some insights, or going within to claim your own. Now, you may feel a bit of stress. You could be dealing with some crisis-oriented situations because this is a period that's very spiritual in nature that requires you face some things that you've been avoiding. It's time for you to close out unfinished business, wrap up some things, some loose ends that you've been putting off, and maybe there's some dissatisfaction about that. In fact, you may even feel overload because this Four of Cups connects to saturation. So you may have information overload, or you may be inundated with paperwork or something that you have to attend to. It could also be, though, that you find yourself in confrontation. There could be some excessive criticism or power plays where someone is trying to take over through their intellectual or supposed intellectual advantage or their moral superiority, and you may be offended by that, or vice versa. So there are definite lessons here in humility, in kindness, in compassion, and also in practicality, learning to look at life through a more detached intellectual lens rather than allowing your emotions to overtake you. This is about fully listening and engaging, observing, taking things in, and not talking so much. You are looking at others to see if what their words are, if the words are matching actions, or that may be happening with you. And there could be some dissatisfaction about that. Now, the Four of Cups says that there is an offer, maybe an offer of information, or maybe you're having to offer information. There could be an offer on the table where you're taking some time out to reflect and consider, because you're looking at all the variables and the potential for something to go wrong. Ultimately, you may decide that you don't want what's on offer, but you also want to be sure that you gather enough information not to miss an opportunity. Because in some cases, you may be closing off to something. Your intuition is now trying to inform you. It's tapping you on the shoulder. And you're either going to take that cue and pay attention to it to make your decisions, or you're going to miss out on something. It could be that you are refusing to accept that a situation is changing or has changed. That may be denial of a truth. So you could be doing that, or someone in your life could. So you're going to be taking a time out to go over decisions and choices that you've made to determine whether those are the right ones. Again, you don't want to miss anything, or you may at the end of the day decide you're so satisfied that you don't want what's on the table. You're quite full with what you have. This connects to a legacy of some sort. This could be, dealing with, maybe you are part of a dynasty of some sort, or you're dealing with people who have powerful individuals. They have a lot of money, influence, standing, social standing. This may have to do with property or leaving your legacy if this is something creative. But there's a history connected here, and you're having to consider the long-term impact. It may tie to large holdings or investments or property or assets. and you need to take some kind of action. So the history of your actions or behavior, taking action on some information, doing some research, something to do with an offer, could be very important on the 25th. And the advice is, don't wait. The hermit can get into trouble by being foolish, not taking good advice, not being logical or rational. Again, letting those emotions overtake. Now, the underlying cards are the Ace of Wands, New Love, and Explore. So you may be excited to explore new love. Now, this may be romantic in nature. For those of you who are saying, I'm not involved with anybody, this may be a passion, a new love, something you're interested in, a hobby, an endeavor, a pursuit. It may be the love of travel. But you are exploring something that is motivating and exciting to you. There could be a strong attraction to someone, the possibility of new love. You're seeking to expand your boundaries in some way. Now, negatively, there could be pushing boundaries. So there's a strong sexual magnetic attraction here, new beginnings, and you may be very motivated. You may be getting a green light to go ahead with something. You may be raring to go, move forward. This is energy based on fire, and fire can quickly burn out if you don't stoke it, if you don't act on it. So, your enthusiasm level is going to be important to this new beginning. So, you're very excited about something. Maybe it's to build an empire, to expand in some way, to connect to another person. There's something new in your life that makes you feel alive again, and you want to explore that. So again, the message is, don't sell out. Humor helps. Don't wait. All right, Capricorn, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notify bell button, and please leave me a comment. Let me know how these dates played out for you.